All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to public comment.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp. Mr. Hoppercamp.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Schindler.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
And of course, comments are limited to one comment for no more than 5 minutes. So welcome, public.
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody in the public that would like to make a comment, please hit your reaction button, show me a hand so I can get you in line and get you on. Thank you. Heather, you're on.
Heather Fury, Windsor Avenue. I just wanted to know if that list that you read off was going to be available because you read it too fast that I couldn't actually retain any of that. For the paving?
Say that again?
I said, is the paving list that you read off, is that going to be available online?
As soon as we finalize it.
Okay. And is the report available that robot or whatever you call it completed that prioritizes? Is that report done and available?
It's done on our electronic system. It's the whole borough's been mapped. So this was a priority.
Yeah,
of
no,
worst
I
to
understand.
best.
Yeah, no, I understand how it works. I'm asking if there's a report that's available.
Not per se. I mean, we can run reports, but we didn't run a specific one. We just prioritized bad.
Ron, we'll answer the questions after the comment.
Okay.
We will address it.
Okay.
That's it.
Ron, did you see you had two more?
Ron, you're muted.
Michelle, you're up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have the copy in front of me of the Lake Hopatcong news, and it covers the topics that you've covered on the solar panel venture. And I know the mayor likes to say we, but I don't think it's really we. It's a private venture that's taking place. And the maximum revenue that our town will receive from it, according to the journal here, is that it would be only like $50,000 a year. Okay, so who is we? There's always this ambiguous terms of we. The other thing that is very interesting in the Lake Hopatcong news was the article that they did about delayed harvesting and phosphorus and concerns for Fragile Lake. And we have here the environmentalists that were hired with the DEP talking about the high phosphorus rate in Crescent Cove. And that basically says that it's a problem. It says still the warning in 2017 report echoes the areas of the lake that experience water quality problems were associated with elevated concentration of phosphorus. A substantial portion of the phosphorus in these areas of the lake originate from watershed stormwater to stormwater, septic systems, etc. So we have here Hudson Road, which has septic systems that are very close to Crescent Cove. So they're a phosphorus contributor, okay? And we have not made, as a municipality, have not made any grants, our own municipality grants or monies to give to environmental issues. But yet, we have the authority. We have our own, we also have our own Hopatcong Environmental Commission. Other municipalities do not have that. And we are one of the 2 towns, municipalities that do not have, that don't have city sewer around the lake shore. Okay, Jefferson, which is in another county, and our town, which is Hopatcong. But anyway, we have offered, our municipality has offered a 5-year tax abatement for new lakefront developments. That was something that our municipality had the power and authorization to do. So they were more concerned over new development, okay, with hookups, than they were for existing environmental issues. And yet we finger point the DEP when we have the power. We have the power to write our own grants out of our tax revenue. And the biggest stakeholders to Hopatcong and stakeholders to Hopatcong is the residential taxpayer. And I don't see where our municipality has done anything and a grant structure like they've done for the new development. New concentrated development, mind you, with asphalt, using asphalt driveways with runoff. And the governor has offered us to do this on stormwater management, but we called that a rain tax. And we said, no, we were going to handle our own stormwater management operations. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to see where you are proactive environmentally, being that we have our own Hopatcong Environmental Commission, and we have the power to structure our own grants out of our own tax dollars, because you tax these people who have lake associations. I can tell you that. We get taxed for fees for a swing set.
Your 5 minutes is up, Michelle. All right, wrap it up. More public?
Yes, hold on, Mike. Trying to get unmuted. Here we go. Mara, you're on.
Yes. Actually, it has to do with what Michelle just said. We for the last 2 years, we've been having problems between the HAB and the weed, and we all know that we really need the lake economically, for recreation, for tourism, and everything else. So I'm wondering if now we would be thinking about passing an ordinance that required environmental impact statements for all of the construction that's being done near the lake before we give them variances, because we've seem to be letting up on the requirements. And the new development does have runoff going down the right of way into the lake. So Michelle was right about that. And I'd like to know if we're thinking about doing that to require environmental impact statements. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, I don't see any more hands.
Yes, you do.
Okay, where are we at?
Jerry Gruenfelder.
Okay, Jerry, go.
I live at 313 Idleroy Trail in Hopatcong. I'd like to find out how I can get more information on the paper or the document shredding event, and I want to know how robust that is, because I plan to bring my marriage certificate down there for shredding. So I mean, that's a question. The second question I have is a bit more serious. And no, my wife is not at home right now, so I think I'll get away with that one. There's been a lot of stuff going around about the COVID-19 epidemic, and some of the research that I've done indicates that the health insurance companies are refusing claims. So what I would do, it's not really a question, it's more of a suggestion. I would suggest that perhaps the borough talk to whomever the provider is of health insurance to see if on renewal there are going to be any exclusions in the coverage due to potential COVID-19 claims. Next question is, when will the 2019 audit be available? And is the 2019 assessed valuation, has that been done? Is that ready yet? And the last question that I have, again, goes back to the audit. The best number that I've been able to come up with for the cost of the audit for the borough is approximately $25,000. The Board of Education just awarded a contract for their audit for $55,000. And so my question is, why the significant difference in light of the fact that they're both pretty much the same? As a matter of fact, I would think that the municipal audit is more complex and more time consuming than the Board of Education audit. And those are my questions.
Thank you.
William, you're up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I've missed the last couple of meetings, so I apologize if this has been covered or will be covered. My question relates to the Hudson Avenue sewer extension. I'm in the position of needing a new septic, but clearly I wouldn't want to put that in if sewer is coming down the road. So it is just wondering if there's an update.
Moron?
Michael, I don't see any, but let's go through one more time. I don't see any more, Mayor.
I'll
Move
entertain
to
a
bring
motion.
it back.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Here. Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
All right, now, as best I can, briefly, I'll try to respond. The paving report that we have, that's preliminary, would and should be published when we finalize everything. That's so people can really know, and we do have a letter that goes to every resident on every affected road, letting them know that in fact we'll be paving, take your car off the road, whatever will help us do it most efficiently. So that hopefully will get done when we have everything nailed down. In relationship to our solar installation, I say we. And the reason I say we is because in this case, the Borough of Hopatcong is the landlord. Of course, we totally support this effort for obvious reasons of alternative energy, of lessening our carbon footprint, of having some conscientious efforts to help our environment be a little bit better. So I say we in the vein that we absolutely support this type of effort and will continue to do so. This is approximately a $4 million project, like I said before. So it's no small thing. The rent is based as publicized. It's $15,500 a year per megawatt installed. We're starting with 1.5, and hopefully we can do more. But we'll get to 1.5 or 1.5 to 2 done first. So hopefully that dispels any questions of inaccuracies on our landfill. The lake problem we addressed directly. If anybody has been paying attention at all, they know my passion for our lake. I am sometimes a lone voice, sometimes the only voice that will ask the state to be a better steward of our lake. There will be stores on Hudson Avenue as soon as the bonding is done. That's a red tape issue that drives me nuts, of course, but we're close to fruition on that. And in answer to William's question, we hope to be digging by fall. Maybe before, but we should be digging by fall. I could stand corrected by our engineer, but he's not online. So I understand that it's a matter of paperwork now for us to get going on it. That takes 40 lakefront septic systems offline. This effort was initiated by the town, wasn't initiated by the state. There happened to be a program where we get 50% loan forgiveness. All the expenses for this sewer are paid for by the people who hook up. There is an assessment to pay for the capital value, and of course there's a hookup fee and quarterly fees that maintain it. So let's be clear that we are paying attention. This governing body, this environmental commission, by the way, our environmental commission is one of the better ones that I've seen, that addresses all the issues. We can't do them, unfortunately, all at one time. In reference to any development, the both major developments that have happened by our lake are in sewer areas. The developers have accrued and paid for all the costs of the sewer installations. So that was not on the back of the taxpayers. So I just want to be clear with accurate information when we move into this. And if there's ever any questions, feel free to call me. I will help you understand it. But we always put the taxpayer first, and we're careful with the taxpayer's money first. So in reference to the solar, we're not gambling with your money. We're a landlord. There is absolutely no risk. As a matter of fact, we have about a $2 or $3 million bond that protects us should everybody go belly up and we have a hill full of collectors that we have to take down. Hope that never happens, but it's covered. In relationship to the have and the weeds, if anybody else has been paying attention, we are currently installing a $125,000 aeration project in Crescent Cove specifically that came through a grant to the Borough of Hopatcong directly, because the Borough of Hopatcong was the only one that supports this methodology to date, and we applied and got a grant to do it. To date, we've installed 20,000 linear feet of airline. We're about 5,000 feet short. That should be in end of this week, early next week. By the end of next week, we hope to have bubbles in the water. We're currently digging the footing and assembling the shelter for the compressor that's right next to the well house by the bridge. So hope that helped people understand some of the stuff that we're doing, addressing the environmental issues of the lake. The weed and the weed harvesting are something that's been managed or mismanaged, if you will, by the DEP. The Lake Commission tries the very best they can. I sit in on the meetings, which is easier now with Zoom, and they're trying to address the issue. They're limited by funding, and they're also limited by the bureaucrats in Trenton, who quite frankly don't have the best interest of our lake at heart. That's the mayor's opinion, by the way. And I'm not afraid to say that publicly because it's true. So I hope I've helped everyone understand where we're going, a little bit of how we got there, and where we intend to get. I'm working now to reintroduce the proposition to put triploid grass carp in River Styx Cove. You can Google it. I don't want to go into great detail about it, but if you Google it, it's a sterile fish that eats weeds and lives 5 to 7 years and dies. And so that could be one more tool in the toolbox of managing our weeds. So there's a lot of stuff going on that, in its early stages, I don't want to get people either too discouraged or too encouraged, but this requires a lot of work dealing with Trenton I'm not afraid to do that. We'll continue to do that. I've got a good team that worked with me. Brad Haverkamp is now on the Lake Commission. I want to congratulate him on that appointment. And so we are paying attention. We really, truly are. It's just something I don't know. Please let me know. We will address it. I am not shy to start talking to anybody and everybody about our lake to a point where I might bore you to death. There's a lot of details that we have to pay attention to, and we are. And our goal is to make our lake clean again, like it used to be. And we can't do that overnight. I don't expect to. It took 20 or 30 years of mismanagement to get here, and it's going to take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years to get it back on track. So that hopefully I responded to everybody's questions satisfactorily.
Mayor, Mr. Gruenfeld asked about the status of the assessments. Just to try and answer his questions, if that's okay, Mayor.
Yeah, sure. Good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gerald. I was reading so fast I missed you.
So the tax assessor puts in her proposed assessments January 1st. Normally by this time of year, by the end of June, the tax appeals are over and the assessment gets set. But of course, that's been significantly delayed this year because of coronavirus. So there's a schedule that I believe goes either to the end of August or the beginning of September. And the final assessment for the borough will be set later.
Thank you, John. All right. Approval of minutes.